Well, here we are in the company of Mr. Ian, so-called good. They called him Wright 3 times. Ian Wright, you don't look a day older, my friend.
No, I just shave my head regularly and put glasses on. Makes you look younger.
Makes you look intelligent as well.
Makes you look intelligent as well. So it's a facade.
Now you're here at Barnet Football Club, or the old Barnet Football Club. You're supporting Toady Adams, aren't you? For raising money for refugees in Azerbaijan.
Yeah, and it's a really good turnout. I've really got to say well done to all the Arsenal fans. Got to say well done to everybody who's turned up, the players, ex-players, and players from the rest of the world side. Because it's a charity that needs to get a light focused on it. So well done to everybody. Tom Watt, I've got to say, got to big up Tom Watt.
Did you ever play here?
I played for Arsenal here in a pre-season friendly. I remember getting a lot of stick here.
Did you?
Yeah, at Barnet. Yeah.
Why would that be?
We're Tottenham running around the corner, I suppose.
Oh, I guess.
So, it was one of those. But it was, it's a nice little place. It reminded me when I was younger because the pitch is kind of on a slope. But like it's always a nice little place to come. And like I say, the Arsenal fans have come out in massive numbers today.
Now, you might have played yourself if you had a slight niggle, haven't you?
Well, it's not a niggle, it's a fused ankle. The ankle's fused. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to see who's going to continually try to twist my arm and say, Ian, 5 minutes, just walk on. I don't even know if I can even do that. But like, it's one of those where, like I say, it's just to build the awareness and support Tom.
So how's life treating you?
Very, very well.
What are you up to?
I just do my radio, do the television, do the column, and just play some golf now.
Well, that's why I last saw you actually playing some golf, and you were kind of had mixed emotions. You were quite pleased, but you were also frustrated.
I'm about the same. You know what I mean? Even more mixed emotions, even more frustrated because the lower you get, the more difficult it becomes. And there's certain things you can't just instinctively do certain things. It has to be meticulously worked on. And being an instinctive player like I was, there's a lot of thought has to go into the golf, and sometimes my patience is not as good as it should.
Now, we'll talk Arsenal in a second, but first of all, of course, before Arsenal, you were a Palace player off great notes. You must be very happy to see them back in the top flight.
It's fantastic for the club and the area. It's a great place. When Crystal Palace are doing well, I was there in those times. And it will really rejuvenate the place. South London's got a Premiership team again. And Palace, hopefully, they can survive. It's going to be difficult. It's difficult for any team that come up. It's going to be difficult. Steve Parish, who is a massive Palace fan himself, hopefully he'll be able to invest wisely, get some players that's got some experience in the Premiership, along with some young, hungry players like Steve Coppell done with us. And hopefully they can finish 17th, stay in there, and then build on that, because it's going to be very, very difficult.
Well, every team that goes up these days immediately gets predicted to go down, but plenty of teams, have shown that they can stay up. Southampton, for one.
Yeah, they did, and Southampton did have a good team. Unfortunately for Nigel Adkins, he got the boot. Pochettino's come in and they play some good stuff, and they have got good players.
So it can be done, can't it?
It can be done, and what you need is the players that you've got who've not got Premiership experience to rise to the occasion. Get some experienced players with them, some players who've got something to prove. Put them in the mix, and then hopefully, you can put a little run together where you build some confidence. You stay in the Premiership, and then you're ready to go for the next season. But it's not only this; it's very difficult in the first season, but the second season it's even harder.
Sure. Well, it certainly won't be dull with their very shy and very retiring manager Ian Holloway.
Yeah, he's a great man as well. I was very dubious about the way Dougie Freedman left, who was a good young manager, up and coming.
And he's done well at Bolton as well.
He's done very well at Bolton. When he went there, they were really in and around the bottom, and he's got them going. They just missed out on the playoffs and all that. But it's one of those where, I thought, well, what's happening there? He's a good young manager, he's got rid of him. But it's justified his decision, Steve Parish. And like I say, Crystal Palace is at the forefront of his heart. He loves the football club, and he's made the best decision for the club, and it's worked out.
Now, talking about football clubs that are loved, you're an Arsenal man through and through now, with a bit of Palace as well.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. It's hard to moan too much about Arsenal. They're there or thereabouts, but it's only there or thereabouts.
That's what it is. And if Arsenal fans are happy with the there or thereabouts, then I won't complain. You know what I mean? I know the standards that were set when I used to play and what was expected at the start of every season. You know, yes, we've fallen off of that a bit because we haven't won anything for such a long time, but you know, like I always say, you know, I get a lot of criticism from Arsenal fans. I will always speak my mind. I don't think it's good enough that we're not winning things on a regular basis or in and around the top guys like Man United's unbelievable consistency. Whatever happens.
League doesn't lie, does it?
Exactly. I think Arsenal were about the fourth best team, you know, in the league, and that's where they finish, and that's where they have been finishing. And it is an amazing achievement to qualify for the Champions League as often as they have. But at some stage, you know, you just want to be able to get to the latter stages and have a really good chance. And the same with the Premiership. They want to start falling away at the end of February, March. You know, and that's all I want for Arsenal.
I know you're a big Arsene Wenger fan. You know, you two work very well, very successfully together. He's had a fair amount of stick, Arsene, because of that lack of silverware. But
of course, you've got to get that. You can't be at a club of the stature of Arsenal, not win anything for 8 years, coming on 9 years, and questions are not asked. And this is what annoys me with Arsenal fans, is that what you're not supposed to ask. I played for the club and they expect a certain something. Sometimes you watch the players and you're not sure if they've got that same drive and desire to want to how much does it hurt? And that's what it is. George Graham especially, you know, you lost the game, you knew about it. You knew about it until you won again. It's got to hurt. And at Arsenal, like I say, a club that I've grown to love more than anything. You know what I mean? To the detriment of Palace fans. Palace fans always saying that you don't talk about Palace and that, because I do love Arsenal because I had a lot of success there, and that's where it was ingrained in me to want to win and continuously win. And now all of a sudden Arsenal fans want me to start talking about the business side of everything and everything's going to be all right. I can't look into a crystal ball and see that it is, but the things that does make it right is trying to invest in the right kind of player, trying to attract the right kind of player, and obviously winning trophies, because that's what fans want.
Well, there are noises, aren't there? There are hints and suggestions that this summer may be a little bit different. Higuain looks like he's coming. They're talking about Rooney. Are you encouraged?
I can't see. I'll be very surprised to see Wayne Rooney come to Arsenal. Higuain, you know, if it happens, it would be a fantastic signing. I think it's still early in the summer. You know what I mean? You never know. You just hope that, you know, none of the other big guys go in for someone like Higuain, because I think that's what happened with Juan Mata. You know what I mean? All the talk was Arsenal was going to sign him, and then all of a sudden Chelsea came along, and they chose Chelsea, unfortunately for us, because he is a magnificent player. And it would be great that we can attract Higuain with a point to prove. You know, he's scored goals for Real Madrid on a regular basis, scores goals for Argentina, and I think that if he played an Arsenal team when they're playing well, keeping the ball and doing their stuff, he'll score goals there as well. But the question is that will we be able to attract him and keep him, and you know, and then he can be one of the catalysts to push Arsenal forward again in respect of winning stuff.
As a guy who gorged on goals, a lot of them pretty special as well. Who are the strikers in the Premiership who really stand out for you? The ones you really like to watch?
Well, I love Ronnie Van Persie. I think he's a fantastic player. I love Wayne Rooney. He's another good player. I was impressed with Benteke. I love Torres. I think Sergio Aguero is a magnificent player. Berbatov in his way, and Jermaine Defoe. I do like him as well. I feel that Andy Carroll needs a run. I'm not saying that Andy Carroll is a great player in respect of what he does feet-wise and that, but for his kind of personality and the way he is, the way his game is, I think he could cause a lot of people a lot of problems. And, you know what I mean? But like, you know, some fantastic players. I love Peter Crouch. I think he's a top player as well. But you know, like I say, you know, it's a different time to ours. It's a different time to when I was playing.
Well, very finally, I don't suppose you look back too much because that's gone now, isn't it? But if somebody had told you this is what you're going to achieve in your career when you were, well, a non-league player back in your early 20s, weren't you? I mean, you were a late developer, weren't you? Yeah, late. You would have taken it, I would suggest.
Yeah, both hands. They said you get to Palace, you do well at Palace, you'll end up at Arsenal. I would have said, yeah, I'll take that all day long.
And it took somebody called Thierry Henry to beat your goal record, and he wasn't too shabby either.
It weren't that bad. I think it's not a bad thing coming in second to someone like him.
Yeah. All right. Well done. Thanks very much.